You're on.
This is the beginning of the City of Sandy Oaks Park Advisory Committee meeting agenda. Notice is hereby given that the meeting of Sandy Oaks Park Advisory Committee will be held on Wednesday, October 30th at 6:30 p.m. at Sandy Oaks City Hall, located at 4451 Hickory Haven, Sandy Oaks, Texas, 78112, for the purpose of considering the following agenda items. All agenda items are subject to action. I'll call the meeting to order. I just done that at 6:32. And we'll have a quorum call.
John Crickmer here.
Ann Garza here.
Charles Fillinger here.
Tom Rapino. I think we have a quorum.
I think we do.
Yeah. So let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Now that the flag is in the right position.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There are no citizens to be heard, so we'll just get right into the agenda items. Discuss and possible action on repainting the playground equipment. I went back out after our discussion last meeting about insurance and warranty. I got a quote back from the hire, the $7,000 one. They said they would warrant for 2 years. I got and they gave us a waiver of liability. I sent that to the wording to, hey, hi.
Come join us.
Yeah. I sent that to Cassandra to see if that statement would actually indemnify us should somebody be injured while they were painting that. I haven't gotten an answer yet. I kind of think it won't, but I'm not sure. Yeah. I think if you hire somebody and they don't have workman's comp, that you're really in big trouble if something happens.
Depends. If it's a sole proprietor or partnership with no other employees, they can't get workers'
They
comp.
have other employees.
But there's other insurances that they do have to have. So,
Well, in any event, I'm waiting. And the other gentleman who I asked this for the same information called me today. I asked him for last week, and he said he would get it to me. But then he said he had a job out of town and he's been out. He will get it to me Friday. So once we hear back from Cassandra and I get his revised quote, we can make a decision whether we want to move forward with this or not. I mean,
Okay.
does that sound adequate to everybody?
Yes.
Yes. Great. Discuss, agenda item 5, discuss and possible action on the status of the distance markers. John,
There's no progress been made. I'm waiting.
He's waiting on me
waiting for the stencils.
No, I'm waiting on
in the paint.
Chad to
Fix
Chad
that.
to do the trail before I put them in the
So-
ground anyway.
Okay, so they may be done before that happens, so
Yeah.
that's good. Okay, so I'll move to agenda item number 6, discuss and possible action on format for reserving pavilion, and the mayor was going to,
I've tried, and I forgot my password.
don't
So-
feel bad,
So I sent an email asking for it to be reset and it never showed up. Well, I found it in my junk email, so I'm trying frantically now to see if I can get it set up.
Okay. So, well, we can, wait for that to happen. But I do, and John brought something up too today, if we do start putting that out for a reservation, and we ask for a deposit. I don't think we've come up with an amount yet, or whether we even want to do it. I think we have to ask for a deposit.
I think we have to ask for a
Yeah,
deposit.
I'm thinking $100. I don't know, what does anybody else think?
That's refundable, right?
Yeah,
Or you could even do, it's $100 deposit and partially refundable. You know,
Oh,
Yeah.
assuming that you clean up and everything, then you would get maybe 50 of it back or something.
Okay, well, what do we want to do $100 of a partially refundable deposit once we start, being able to reserve the,
I don't
the
know.
pavilion?
I would make it fully refundable if it doesn't require any other cleaning until we start getting some demand for it. And then we can start,
Adding in some?
I would go
Uh,
easy.
Well, so let's do $100, fully refundable, and with reservation that at some point in the future, once it gets busier, we may impose a not fully refundable.
Well, one thing that I
That'd
would
be a
like you to
usage fee.
consider then is, if you're having, let's say, I see people are wanting to do like game night or game afternoon or something like that. That's perfect. We'll set up tables and chairs. Y'all come down. Don't have to reserve that. We could make, say, every Wednesday at 2 or, something like that.
Okay.
But when you get into a situation where you have somebody who wants to sell some items,
okay?
you might want to consider a different fee structure for that.
So I guess we need to come up with a fee structure for
Different things.
things. So
Yeah.
why don't we think
So,
about
like-
that this week? And
Yeah, so like exercise classes or games
Community
or
events.
community, yes, exactly. Somebody wants
We're
to have a
gonna- we're gonna let 'em
picnic
have
or
it.
sell snow cones.
So if it benefits the community, it's basically no charge cost. If it benefits an individual, there'll be a fee.
We should say no cost, but we
Or,
should.
or if somebody wants to have, I want the pavilion for a half a day for a private party.
And that's a
That would be
charge.
a fee.
Then we should have a fee. I want to set up my garage sale under the pavilion.
There would be a fee.
There would be a fee.
Right.
And if we don't charge a fee, I think we need to ask for who's going to, who in the organization that is utilizing the pavilion, set aside certain members to clean up, so that we can be assured that we're not, or the city's not gonna have to clean.
Right.
So we can have that proviso when we go ahead and start reserving it. And then we
I
have to
think we
think
need to
about
have a
advertising
responsible
too.
individual, whoever that is.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. And whether it's one person or two people
Yeah.
that,
And if they can't get their people in line, then it falls on them.
yeah.
We don't want to
Okay.
have to be the police for them and
So we want to, under agenda item number 6, we want to consider fee structures and,
Yes,
as well as format for reserving the pavilion. And we're gonna try to do an online form for reserving
yeah,
Reservation
And-
form. Oh, I'm
and-
in.
and make one, and make that where we can print it out for people that are not.
We will have forms available here as
Cool.
well. Yes.
Okay, then let's put on our thinking caps and give it a week or two and see
Yeah.
what we can come up,
For the fee schedule,
for the
yes.
fee schedule, maybe,
And that
Look
might
at-
be a good
maybe look at some
opportunity to
other-
reach out to Ken McGlamory at Bear County.
Mm-hmm.
He's offered to help us out and maybe get an idea from them. How do they do that? Because I know you can reserve their parks, but kind of get an idea from them maybe what, I'm sure they charge
Yeah,
for everything.
It'd probably be
but
easy
figure out
just to go
what's-
up and ask them what, you know.
What are some of
what are
the-
your charges?
Yeah, what
I wanna
what are the
reserve it,
events that
know.
you allow, or
Yeah.
what do you not allow, and what is your fee structure, and what about cleanup and deposit and returnables and all that
Well,
stuff?
I have a
let's
question.
not get the constables involved.
No,
Do we have
especially
a-
on precinct 2.
Do we have a no glass bottles, no glass containers rule for the
I
park?
think we do under park rules that I know no alcoholic beverages.
I'm opposed to having glass in the park, but that's just me.
You are or you're not.
I'm opposed
You're
to having
opposed to it?
glass containers in the park.
Yeah, most of the glass containers are beer bottles.
Right,
And
there's
there you
no
go.
alcohol, so.
right.
Okay, so that's what we'll mull over for until the next meeting and come up with some ideas and
Okay.
and we'll try and check with some other parks to see what they charge and what they allow and what they don't. Okay.
The other thing I just as a kind of a side note, we want to make sure that we include Mr. Hurtado in the email notifications.
Yeah.
He's expressed an interest. He did call me. He would like to participate. So, we're playing telephone tag. I think if we include him in the distribution for the parks meetings,
Okay,
he
I
might-
have emailed him in the past,
Yeah.
and sent him meeting notices, but
Oh, okay. Well, good.
but I didn't do it this
Oh,
time
okay.
because he never shows up.
Right.
He was,
Well-
is he the gentleman that was interested in doing the ballpark and sports activities,
works
etc.?
for San Antonio Parks and Rec, I think, and he lives
Yeah.
out here. And he was
Yeah.
interested in participating and helping us out with our
That
park.
would be great if we had somebody with that.
That has the
knowledge.
experience, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing, water fountain, are we gonna do that, near in the pavilion so that we do have access to water and power
Yeah,
too?
Well,
We should
so-
be able to,
Hang on, that's not on the agenda. So
we
let's.
should be able to discuss that as soon as it's on the
Hey,
agenda.
well, as
okay.
soon as this meeting's over.
Well, I'll put it on next week's or next meeting's agenda.
Okay.
All right, so, okay. So next, discuss and possible action, this is item 7 on the agenda, on updates on repairing a walking trail, and you can go ahead and say
I've-
what you said at the beginning
I've
of the.
notified Chad that his bid was approved, and I told him to contact Catherine to set up, let her know when he can get going on it. So I haven't heard any feedback yet from either one of them.
Okay,
Okay, well,
I think Catherine sent an email. Let me see. I saw something in here from her on that.
I sent him a text to his phone.
Authorization to construct. Oh, no, sorry, that was for the animal control facility.
Yeah, something I
making
want to
progress
know
on that.
about.
Yeah, well, when we finish this
Yes,
meeting,
Yes,
we'll
ma'am.
talk about that.
Yes, ma'am.
okay, the next item is discuss and possible action on the status of providing playground shade. And I talked to Michael Durbecker, and he sent me a couple of ideas, not by covering it as we were talking about before we started the meeting, but providing a shade at the southwest side of the playground area. And depending on the size that we want it, it would be $5 a square foot. But I still think we need to get somebody out here that knows what they're doing so that we can, see what they're talking about, see if it I don't know, I gather he's not in this area.
He's the one I worked with for this pavilion.
Okay.
And basically, I gave him the footprint. I said, here's the
Yeah.
amount of space that we have, and here's what we're looking to do. And he came back with some options. And he says, our standard, this is a standard, so we didn't do anything custom with it.
Yeah.
And that actually worked out pretty well. Oh, you've seen the catalog, okay.
Yeah. He sent back a one quote to cover the whole play area, and it was $22,000. And I told him, you know,
What?
yes, that's way out of our, because they have to go up real high to get over the.
But I don't think, see, I think we talked about that, and we didn't want to do a single cover. We wanted to do some sail shades, maybe on either
And
side.
that's what I was saying, but he came back with that quote anyhow, and then I said, you know, we're
That's
not
way
gonna
out there.
buy that.
Yeah.
And so he came back with those other ways to do it by blocking the southwest sun. He recommended that we use rectangular rather than sail because rectangular is cheaper. I will talk to him again this week or before the next meeting and see if we can, you know, if he can pin it down, because I sent him pictures of the park and the area, and so he has all that.
So did you give him measurements?
Yeah, he has the
Everything knows
measurements,
how
yeah,
tall
and he
and-
went on Google Maps and everything.
Oh, good,
and-
okay.
And
Why
got
does it
that.
have to be so high?
We want to,
There's a regulation that says it has to be
Well,
so far above the actual playground equipment, like we have that tower. But, go ahead.
we need to just do a cantilever. We don't want our sail going all the way to the ground. We want it on poles.
Yeah.
We want it to lean a little bit. And so it will be like a canopy, but it won't be 100% around and it won't be over the top.
Yeah,
So we might have just two sides.
Because you do have
Cantilever.
trees that are blocking.
part of that area.
Yeah, and in the wintertime, it's not that big of a
No.
deal. It's
We need
just
to-
in the summertime.
We need to track the sun where it
Exactly.
sets, the degrees on
What
the
range,
horizon
yeah.
from the hottest months of the year.
I agree.
Yeah, and that's what we discussed. So I'll talk to him and we'll see what he can provide us with and a price.
Okay.
This should be to where people can easily walk under it like 8 feet without hitting their head or what have you.
Yeah, you don't want people
Right.
garroting themselves.
Or trying to play on it.
Or somebody else. There'll be a line formed.
Okay, I will check into that. So, I guess
what
that's,
if I can get Wi-Fi out there? I'll just set up some stakes and
and have it
Mark the-
rotate.
and mark the sun pattern across there.
Well, I think you can find that online though. I know you can find the moon.
Okay.
The moon where it sets, when it's, all the
Probably
phases,
wanna
and
do it from
when it
1
rises
May
and
to-
sets, and the degree on the azimuth where it's at.
30 September.
Yeah.
That sounds too high-tech, too stick
Well,
to the ground.
the Navy, the Navy has that information for one thing. The nautical, whatever you call it.
Okay. So we're gonna do some more research on the shade and what's actually gonna be required instead of trying to put the entire playground under
Yes,
shade.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. We can't afford it. Our budget will go out the window immediately.
Yeah.
And
So-
we could say bye-bye to that 50,000 a year. we were
20
counting.
50?
Well, it was
25.
25.
25?
It was 25 and 25 from the
It's the
VSN.
same, oh, yeah.
Oh.
But that was not coming to the park, sorry.
Yep.
Just the shade was coming, but not the
Okay.
price. So, okay, so then item 9, adjourn. Do I have a motion to?
You
I'll
don't
make
need
a
one.
motion, we adjourn.
You
do I
just
have
make
a
it
second?
happen.
I'll second.
Thank you.
right.
Nobody's
We
second.
adjourned at
I put 650.
6:50.